Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Neunaber Frequently Asked Questions section. I'm Leonard J, and today's question is actually one I've been really looking forward to answering because I actually get it quite a bit in my personal life, and that is it better to put your reverb units in front of the amp, or is it better to put it in the effects loop of your amp? Well, if you're going to ask me personally, what do I do? Well, I do both all the time. I think each position has their own strengths and their own characteristics and character. It really depends on kind of what my goals are for that particular tone, what my goals are for that particular song. So let's break down this thing and figure out what's going to work the best for your setup. Let's start with a clean guitar amp. Say your guitar amp is lush clean, you're playing through a jazz chorus or a twin reverb or a high watt, or you're the kind of person that just wants your guitar clean and you want all your gain to come from your pedals. In that situation, it really is not as imperative where you put it. It's going to sound fairly similar having it in the front, having it in the back. For me, in that situation, I'll just put it in the front so I don't have to use the extra two cables. Just, less to think about, and I'm lazy. However, the differences really become apparent when that amp is the thing that's creating the gain. It's creating that distortion and overdrive. Then it really begins to matter if it's in the front or if it's in the effects loop. So let's break it down a bit. If my reverb is going into the front end of an overdriven amp, well, what happens then is I play my guitar goes down, it hits the reverb, and both of those things are gonna go into the amp, and both of those things are gonna distort, right? They're gonna distort together. So in that situation, the reverb is gonna start getting the same characteristics as my guitar tone. It's gonna get more compressed, it's gonna get more gritty, it's gonna be sandpapery. One way I like to describe it is it just sounds meaner and more gutso and tougher, more when I listen to that tone, I think of an old spaghetti western guitar tone, that edgy kind of guitar reverb sound. It's a really neat tone because everything kind of sounds glued together. You do lose the detail of the reverb because it's compressing and mushing together, but it's a wonderful sound. The problem is though, when you start gaining up and up and up, the more gain your amp is making on its own, the more gainy your reverbs are going to be. And before you know it, everything just turns into a soupy mush. And there's a lot of uses for that soupy mush, but it's definitely not a tone I'm going to be using the entire night. So the tone of the reverb is very, very dependent on what's going on with your amplifier. And the magic of it is finding that sweet spot between the two. On the other side of things, if we put the reverb in the effects loop, what happens is, say our amp's distorting, we have the reverb in the effects loop, I play my guitar's gonna go down the wire, it's gonna hit the amp, my guitar is gonna get distorted, and then it's gonna go out of the effects loop, and it's gonna go in the reverb, and it's gonna go back into the amplifier. And what happens there is my guitar gets distorted, but my reverbs, they stay clean, or at least relatively clean, depending on where that effects loop is. When you do it that way, those reverbs start sounding a lot more natural, more lush, more full. It's all the details, all the subtleties of that reverb from the pre bloom into the tail. It's all gonna come through in a wonderful way. It's gonna sound just like natural and gorgeous. Another result of having it in that position as well is that the reverb is not as dependent on your guitar tone. It's going to be much more consistent. It's not going to change depending on what's going on with your rig. That reverb and that reverb tail and tone is going to be pretty solid all the way through. So broken down, if you're looking for your reverb to have a little bit more of a direct sound, a little bit more of a gritty, compressed, kind of glued together kind of feel, put it in the front. But be careful of your dynamics and be careful about where it is because it's going to fluctuate depending on the attack of your amplifier. However, if you want your reverbs to sound natural or you want all the details of your reverb to come out crystal clear, put it in the effects loop. Well, that's my opinion. Might not be yours, but that's how I feel about it. My question for you guys is, Where do you like to put your reverbs? Do you like to put it in the front? Do you like to put it in the loop? Or are you one of those people that likes to, have the reverb go into a separate chain? There's a lot of different ways to approach it. Let me know what you guys are doing. I'd love to find out. That being said, I'll see you guys all soon. Take care and goodbye.